Hello again and welcome to Foreplay Radio Sex Therapy. I'm your host, certified sex therapist Laurie Watson, author of Wanting Sex Again, and blogger at Psychology Today and WebMD. And I have with me Dr. Adam Mathews, my co-host, who's a couples therapist, psychotherapist, and president of NCAMFT. Foreplay is dedicated to helping couples keep it hot. Each episode, we cover an aspect of sex that impacts your sex life and something that you can relate to. So if you find our discussions helpful, please give us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. We would love it if you would tell a friend about us. You can find us also on the web at foreplayrst.com. And if you have a comment or a topic that you'd like us to talk about, we'd love to hear from you. Please send them to us at info@foreplayrst.com. Thanks for listening. Now on to today's topic. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Laurie. How are you? It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. I got my casual Friday on.
Or generic day and generic time of the day.
Depending on when you're listening.
Right.
Well, whatever generic day. I'm generic day casual right now. I got on my Star Wars t-shirt. I'm about my Star Wars tickets today.
Ooh,
I'm
are
so
you?
Excited. Yeah.
We're going to go see that at Christmas.
Right.
So
but you got to get your tickets now. Don't get.
No, we've already got them.
You've already got them.
Purchased them.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
You're ahead of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. My family, whole family, big sci-fi family. So they're into it. But we do a thing at Christmas, like Christmas Day. We always go to the movies. It's like everybody is just done. You know.
Yeah, we do that. We do that as well.
All the stress, and it's like we just go to the movies.
But you realize that's like 3 weeks after the movie opens.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to be really careful about spoilers.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been telling each other that, like, don't listen.
By Christmas Day, I'll have seen it like 4 times.
Oh, fun! Yeah. Really? And your kids?
Yeah, I gotta go. Well, no, I go once with my dudes, and then I go with Rebecca, my wife, and then we'll take the kids. They're old enough now.
And then you'll just go by yourself.
Yeah, well, then we'll go probably with whatever family we're with. We usually
at Christmas.
At Christmas time.
Oh, that's nice.
So for Christmas, I want they have Star Wars.
A laser saber?
No, you are not a Star Wars fan if you just called it a laser saber. I'm gonna have to talk to your boys. They need to educate.
What is it? What is it?
It's a lightsaber.
A lightsaber.
Lightsaber, not a laser saber. That's the generic off-brand that like Kmart tries to sell or something like that.
You're like my brother. You're like my brother.
Laser saber. I'm not putting you down. You just tried to talk about Star Wars and then called it a laser saber. I can't let that go. I'm gonna have to talk to your boys. That is unacceptable. Laser saber. All right. I guess let's talk about sex because
I'm feeling insecurely attached to you now, Adam. We're going to talk about attachment and sexual problems.
Okay.
And I kind of harp on this because what I really think our podcast can do for people is it can help them with like a cohesive framework for how to think about their problems.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, and we love doing, 10 orgasmic ways to increase your orgasmic power or whatever, or, 6 ways to that and 7 ways to Sunday. But, I mean, that's fun, and those are fun to listen to, and sometimes you get ideas about that. But true change in a sexual relationship takes a strategy. And I think that attachment theory is the deepest, most scientifically researched theory about how people relate to each other, how they get attached. And sex is attachment. I mean, it's physical attachment.
Right. It's the tactile and physical embodiment of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can clearly see somebody that's more anxious or somebody that's more avoidant, somebody that pursues more, somebody that withdraws more, clearly in the sexual relationship.
Right. So there's this continuum, right? And in the center of the continuum are people who come out of childhood securely attached. So they have a sense of flexibility and ease in the world and that they belong. And, I mean, it's a sweet spot to be. And usually those people marry other people who are securely attached. And, frankly, they have a better shot at happiness. Mm. I mean, they just do. And it's not fair if you come from a family where you come out of it insecurely attached. But the reality is people who are securely attached have a better shot at happiness. And the good news is, no matter where you came from in childhood, you can develop secure attachment.
Right.
But you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, give us for people that are just listening, that haven't listened to our others on attachment theory, give us just a snapshot of what we're talking about when we're talking about attachment and what that means, what that looks like for people.
Okay, so attachment is our ease or anxiety about connection with another.
Right.
So in true attachment, in secure attachment, we feel comfortable with closeness, and we also feel comfortable with separateness. This is where it goes awry in terms of, I think, the theories out there and the different prevalence of theories saying, like, oh, if you're too close, you can't have great sex. Actually, true attachment allows for breathing space.
Allows for both.
And honors the differences of their partner, respects their desire for different pursuits. It's flexible. And I just want to read something. I got this from the blog of Susan Whitbourne in Psychology Today. She's a great author. And she talks about attachment in this blog. And she's quoting something from a study. And I'm so sorry I did not get that study. But basically, a securely attached person says, I find it relatively easy to get close to others. And I'm comfortable depending on them and having them depend on me. I don't worry about being abandoned or about somebody getting too close to me. So I'm not worried about somebody leaving me. I'm not worried about somebody smothering me. That's somebody who feels quite securely attached in the world from their childhood and how they feel about most relationships.
Yeah, this person has really well-defined boundaries. They know when somebody crosses them. They know how to let people inside them. They're not too rigid, but they're not also completely diffuse or allowed to walk all over their boundaries, for instance.
Right. What he said. I love that. Yeah. That was well said.
Okay.
So then there's insecure attachment. Okay. So there's two ends of this continuum. I like to call them the pursuer, the distancer, or the anxiously attached person, or the avoidantly attached person. Anxiously attached is a little bit of a misnomer because it makes you think that that person's nervous or anxious. And that's not necessarily true. But anxiously attached is that they do feel anxious about the attachment. And the other side distances. They back up. They more easily feel smothered. So I'm going to read those descriptors, and I want you as the listener, as our foreplay listener, try to figure out where you're at. We also have a quiz on awakenloveandsex.com. That's one way to reach my website. And there's a quiz. It's the Love and Sex Quiz. And this also helps define you whether you are an emotional pursuer or an emotional distancer, and a sexual pursuer and a sexual distancer. And it gives you your style when you take that quiz. We don't retain those results, so feel free to use this. If you put your real email in, you do go to on my email list. But go ahead and take that, and that kind of gives you which style you are and what are your challenges. But let me read this as well for our other listeners who are not easily accessing that quiz. So this person says, I am somewhat uncomfortable being close to others. I find it difficult to trust them completely, difficult to allow myself to depend on them. I am nervous when someone gets too close, and often others want me to be more intimate than I feel comfortable being. So that is the
avoidant.
Ding, ding, ding.
The withdrawer.
That's the withdrawer, the distancer. The other one says, this is another insecure position, insecurely attached. I find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like to. I often worry that my partner doesn't really love me or won't want to stay with me. I want to get very close to my partner, and sometimes it scares people away. So that is anxiously attached.
Or
that's
the pursuer. Yeah.
And you might think about this both sexually and emotionally, because we can be in reverse positions in the insecurely attached place, right? We might be really anxious that we're not going to get enough sex, but when it comes to talking feelings, my partner wants to do that. That feels too invasive. I don't want to reveal the contents of my mind. And so we back away. We come forward and we back away in two different ways.
Yeah, I think the anxiously attached partner or pursuer, they're going to find themselves initiating a lot, right? They're going to feel probably the burden for the relationship. They're going to feel like if anybody's going to talk about what's wrong in the relationship, they're going to have to bring it up, or they may be the ones that have to initiate date night, or it's not going to happen, Like those type of things, they're going to be in that kind of position a lot, or find themselves in that kind of position a lot. While the avoidantly attached individual is going to feel like that their requirement is always extra, it's always too much, that their partner's always asking them for their feelings that they just don't have, or they struggle with how to express enough to their partner their love and their care, and always feeling like it's just getting thrown into a black hole, for instance.
Right. The avoidantly attached person says, no matter what I do for you, it's not enough.
It's not enough, yeah.
And the anxiously attached person says, damn straight.
You don't do anything. Yeah,
you don't do anything.
You'll never show me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that avoidantly attached people minimize problems.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't like to look at that because they're often conflict avoidant.
It's too overwhelming, yeah.
It's too overwhelming.
They get overwhelmed really quickly with any kind of intense emotion. Right, it's just too much, and a lot of times the anxiously attached partner is expressing a lot of emotion, or what feels like a lot of emotion, and the avoidantly attached feels overwhelmed by that and feels like they can never get safe, they can't ever escape from it.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to show you how this plays out in the sexual relationship, because I think the secret to really deeply changing your sexual relationship and making it be secure in that area is learning, okay, which woman am I? What's my stumbling block? What do I do that adds to this dynamic? Because it's a dynamic. It isn't one person at fault. It's two people participating in a way that keeps a bad cycle going, you know. And if you can see that, and if you can see how you participate, and if you can start to know, this is what I should have done, what I could have done to break up that dynamic, to create more security and safety between the two of you, then basically sex gets freed up. You know, sex is often caught in this struggle. Yeah. And so we want sex to be free so people can be participating in it in a way that is less inhibited and less torn up by the power struggle. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a break. This is Foreplay Radio Sex Therapy with your sex therapist, Laurie Watson, and couples therapist, Dr. Adam Mathews. Give us a sec. We'll be right back.
Wanting sex again. How to rediscover desire and heal a sexless marriage by certified sex therapist, Laurie Watson.
Each chapter is designed to fix one of the problems that cause low libido, from early marriage through the childbearing years, even all the way through menopause. I've also had men read it and tell me that for them it was the most hopeful thing they read about resolving sexual problems.
Look for Wanting Sex Again on Amazon.com. You can also talk to Laurie Watson for therapy in person or via Skype.
I offer couples counseling and sex therapy, and I think about both aspects of the relationship, emotional intimacy and sexual technique, and that combination together helps marriages be happy.
Improve your sex and improve your relationship with Awakening Center for Couples and Intimacy. Find out more at awakenloveandsex.com. Awaken what's possible.
It is one of my great joys in life to be able to really help individuals and couples find strength in their relationships and really find hope again.
Licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Adam Mathews from Mathews Counseling.
I work with a wide variety of issues, including depression and anxiety, marital issues, issues with adolescence. I believe that therapy should be designed around you, that it should be personalized to who you are and to your unique situation.
Therapy is available in office, online, and by phone.
I want therapy to be comfortable for everyone. At our office, you'll find that we sit around a fireplace in deep, comfortable chairs, look at the problem differently, and offer practical solutions for you to take home and utilize outside of the therapy room.
Schedule today and rediscover hope.
You can find me on the web at mathewscounseling.net, Mathews with 1 T. You can contact us through email or phone and find a lot of resources on our website, mathewscounseling.net.
Okay, we're back.
Yep, during the break, I jumped on Amazon, found me a laser saber for Halloween. It's cheaper than I thought.
No costume, Adam? No hot
I
devil costume?
Yeah, I'll be dressing up as Fubbaka for Halloween. One of the characters from Light Wars.
Okay.
We're talking about anxiously attached, avoidantly attached, and securely attached individuals.
Yeah.
Right? How they look and what they look like in a couple relationship.
Right. Could you talk a little bit about, like, what does a securely attached couple look like, and maybe why is sex so much smoother for them?
I think that for a securely attached couple, often they like we've been talking about, they're okay with separateness and togetherness, right? Mm-hmm. So they're allowed to go and do their thing. They have independent hobbies from each other, and they're not threatened by those things, right?
Right.
I think they often ask for permission to go do those things, but without it being
negotiate it.
They negotiate it, and so they don't demand that time, but they request it. Right, and they're okay giving it. So they're okay with allowing their partner to go and do and have their time and have their space. But they also, on the flip side of that, they also create space for each other and time for each other. Mm-hmm. Right. What I would describe is there is less of a threat in secure relationships. Right. There's not when things go poorly or things go badly, there's not as much of a threat to the relationship. Right. And so there's a high level of, we're in this together. Mm-hmm. We are a team, and so even in a team situation, you're allowed to. You have a role to play, and you get to go and do. You get to go and prayer. I think securely attached couples also take responsibility. Each partner takes responsibility for their piece of what is going on in the relationship. Yeah. Right. And so, if I'm in a securely attached relationship, my job is to take care of my end. It's not to control or try to change my partner. And let's face it, we all try to control in different ways. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes we try to make moves to get a specific response from our partner, mm-hmm. right?
We're manipulating.
I mean, yeah, it's manipulation, but a lot of times we don't even know that we're doing it. It's not because we're controlling people. It's unconscious.
Trying to get our needs met.
Yeah. And so I think with sex, when you then talk about sex in securely attached couples, there is again that kind of give and take. Sex is non-threatening to the relationship, mm-hmm. and it is we create intentional space and time to be able to do it, and we're able to ask for what we need. And I think securely attached people are able to ask for what they need, and they're not embarrassed or ashamed of it. Yeah. Right? And so we can ask for what we need. We can talk about it, right? We can talk about our insecurities and our fears. We're able to be vulnerable mm-hmm. about sex and around sex, because sex is essentially a vulnerable act, right? It is one of the most vulnerable acts that we engage in. So we're able to acknowledge our own vulnerability in that, and where we need to offer that up to our partner. And we're also able to hear from our partner and make that a safe space for them to be able to offer their own vulnerable and positions up to us. So I think that plays out in sex, and I think that honestly then allows you to work through all the things that you need. So you're able to say, I want more from you, or I want more time with you, I want more sex, I want to have sex more often, is a better way to say that. Like being able to ask for what we need makes it hotter, makes it more passionate, makes it more full.
It does.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't know if any of that made sense. I was just kind of rambling.
No, I like what you were saying. I think you're talking about a flexible situation, like, when people are securely attached and it doesn't go well, mm-hmm. they think, there's another night.
Yes.
There's another day coming.
Yes.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's like they know that they can adjust and shift, and that their partner's there for them, or if something goes technically wrong, one partner doesn't have an orgasm, it's like, okay, I'll catch you the next time, or or their partner doesn't want an orgasm, it's like, but I want to be with you, and it's like, oh, I love that, it was so close and it was so warm, and there's not this like just angst, right, that we see with couples about their sexual life. It's really, it's really relaxed.
Secure individuals in a relationship don't take things personally. They don't make everything about themselves. They honor the individualness of the other person.
Yes.
Right? And so
they see them as separate.
Yes, they see them as separate. And that is one of the keys to be able to then get to move through it when things go wrong. Or like when there's a lull in sex, after babies, after menopause, after saying a bunch of female things, after male stuff, after work, when there's high level of work stress, anything that kind of disrupts regular sexual activity, you're able to get through it faster, and it's not a threat to the relationship, right? If you go a period of time that's unusual for you between sexual encounters, you don't automatically begin to freak out and question what is going on, what's wrong with the relationship.
I think there's something in a secure relationship, we call it a couple mindset.
I like
that people have a sense of what their partner needs, and that they hold that in their head. You know, so that when they're making decisions, when it's a rough time, okay, maybe it's after a baby is born, but you know, both partners go, you know what, this is a way that we reaffirm our love for each other. Sex is important to us, and we know it's a little tough right now, you know, no sleep, postpartum body, you know, but I deeply trust that my partner knows how important this is to me, so it's okay. It's okay for this lull. It's like they don't panic inside of, oh my gosh, you know, is it ever going to happen again? There's not that sense of anxiety about my needs won't be met.
Yeah, and then too, that when in a secure couple, when a complaint is voiced, right, it's safe for complaints to be voiced.
It is.
Right? For me to say, I really don't think that you're considering my needs here. Can we talk about that? Like there's not that panic that then leads to attack
partner's going to leave
defense.
Me. Yeah. You know, they're unhappy with me, and that does instill panic in an insecurely attached person.
Yeah. So you can begin to walk through that and improve and make improvements to the relationship. Right. You can begin to negotiate how it can look different in the future.
But most of us are sort of on one side of the continuum or the other. Even if we're functional and we're pretty secure with each other, we still kind of tend to be a little more avoidant or a little more anxiously attached. So we're a little more distancing, or we're a little more pursuing.
Yes.
And then, you know, people who come from childhoods where they really don't feel secure attachment, that they were listened to, respected, and heard, and that their needs were met, they are further out on the continuum.
Yeah.
You know, so their behaviors get more exaggerated.
Yes.
And this power struggle is, it's more stressful. So
what would that look like?
Okay,
what would an avoidantly is someone who's
avoidantly attached,
and anxiously
married
attached.
to, or partnered with an anxiously attached person?
Well, before you get into that, just real quick.
Okay.
Do you find, like I do, that tends to be how people couple up? That the anxiously attached tends to seek out the avoidantly attached for some reason. I don't know if I could pinpoint what it is, but that seems to be that they come together.
Right. I mean, it does seem like there's kind of an equal opposite reaction. Like avoidantly attached people tend to be married to anxiously attached people. I think I will say one thing, the research doesn't bear that out.
Okay.
It really doesn't, and that there's new research on this, that the way people couple up is not as what we see in our room. Maybe we see that in our room because this is the more stressful couple, is when they are kind of balanced in terms of how anxious they feel or how avoidant they act.
Yeah.
They have more problems. So
that's not makes sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead with the example of what that couple looks like.
I want to talk to people about how that looks in the sex life. So, you know, the anxiously attached person, and this can be male or female. We do talk gendered sometimes here, but truly, we have lots of female patients who come to see us who are the sexual pursuer, and you know, they can be really frantic about it. It's like, this is the way I connect, this is the way I feel safe, and you don't give it to me enough. It's either you don't give it to me enough, you don't give it to me the way I want it, and there grows over time this like frantic feel about it. And maybe I'm thinking of a couple, you know, one man who, you know, all the women he knew didn't need foreplay. So he grew up in his encounters, they don't need so much. So for him, it's just like, you know, let's get to it, get over it, get done with it. Even though his partner is this frantically, anxiously attached woman, he's pretty avoidant. He doesn't really listen to her. He hears the criticism, and in order to avoid one more conflict with her about the sex, he just shuts it down. You know, doesn't want to talk about it, or says, okay, you know, I'll do better next time, or I'm just not that interested. Over time, you know, he just wouldn't give to her. He'd say, you know, I don't want to have sex with you because you're always nagging, always complaining. He actually had plenty of drive. You know, sexually avoidant people often have enough drive, it's the power struggle between the two of them that shuts them down. And anxiously attached people, one of the troubles that they have is enjoying an individual encounter. So they compare and contrast it. It wasn't as good as it could have been. It wasn't as good as last time. We should be doing it better.
They get nervous if it was good enough or not.
They get nervous if it was good enough for themselves or if it was good enough for their partners. So the growth challenge really is to enjoy it. Real quick story, I used to like best friends, and every girlfriend I had, I wanted her to be my best friend. Well, now I have neighbors, we walk together, we celebrate the holidays together. In terms of intensity, it's like a 5. But I've learned that there's so much benefit in that.
Yeah.
Enjoying people at different levels of intensity makes a fuller life. And the same sort of thing with enjoying sexual encounters at different levels of intensity. Sometimes it's stress release, sometimes it's love making, sometimes it's deep passion. But I think as an anxiously attached person, learning to be in the moment and that moment be okay with kind of knowing that being relaxed about that actually encourages the next moment. And avoidantly attached people, their task in life is to learn to initiate. How do I keep in my couple's mind, keep in the forefront of my mind that this is how my partner feels loved? So avoidantly attached people, they can go through their day and it's like, I didn't think about sex once. It's like, really? When you're spending all this money in therapy and we've been together for 6 months, you're telling me it didn't even occur to you that that's how your partner feels love? It's like they let it go. And they need to keep it in the forefront of their mind. Okay, we have so much to talk about this.
So much, but just to cap it,
please.
We think that anxiously attached, avoidantly attached can move toward a secure attachment.
Yes, we do.
Like it is not a fixed position, locked forever. That's how life is going to be.
Right, and the steps to that are first self-awareness. Which side are you on? Go take awakenloveandsex.com, that quiz. Figure out which side you're on. Figure out what your challenges are, and start to, instead of blaming your partner, they always do this. Start to say, what is my next step? Do I need to reduce anger and reduce criticism, or do I need to initiate and nurture? Okay, thanks for listening. Foreplay Radio Sex Therapy with your sex therapist, Laurie Watson, and couples therapist, Dr. Adam Mathews.
Hey, help us stay on top here at Foreplay. We'd love it if you would subscribe and share it with your friends. And please take 1 sec and rate and review us. Thanks so much.